Hello, and welcome to episode 12 of Yapology 101. Today, we have a very special guest here on the podcast with us today, and that is the founder of Girl Magazine, Jenny. Her pronouns are she, her, and she has come to us today from the faraway land of the UK. Jenny, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jenny. I'm founder of Girl Magazine. I'm from London. I work with like a small digital team, and we're all from different parts of the UK. Actually, one girl is from America. And it's really nice for like a small collective of online girls who just want to spread, I suppose, like more positivity in the gaming industry, but also promoting femininity in the gaming industry just because there's a lack of it. And it would just be nice to see it more.
Now,
Yeah,
Jenny,
see it more. And yeah.
sorry to interrupt,
No, it's fine.
but I've been talking about this very topic on my podcast. I think it was last episode was about girls gaming and the lack of representation for girls and women in gaming. So
Yeah.
I think it's really admirable that you're dedicating your life to this cause because it matters so much to so many women and girls everywhere. And also having a collective of women like that, that's unheard of. It's usually like men. It's usually like a bunch of young boys in a Discord or in a creative group of some sort. And not to throw shade on them, because I know some groups like this, but it's like always one
Yeah.
girl. And to have a collective of women is just something that is so hard to find. So that's really cool that you were able to do that. And how were you able to do that?
Yeah, to be honest, it came about really naturally, like via email at first. So people would send in submissions, but then over time, I just really liked their writing. And the girls they're all so positive, and we all have this shared connection about wanting to just platform gaming more from our perspective. I suppose it's nice as well just because you meet really different people. Like at first I was just targeting, I suppose, myself. But then you realize how many people you're touching when you're talking about a topic like this, and it affects, just so many different types of people. So yeah, when you talk about like Discord, to be honest, we just started a Discord, and now it's even nicer to hear so many different voices, because before I was just reaching out to that collective of girls when we were doing writing, and then I suppose I wasn't really hearing feedback on the magazine. Like a lot of gamers don't really comment and engage like that. We're kind of like hermits. So it was nice to start that Discord and just hear more feedback and start more of a community. And yeah, I suppose it's like a long answer just saying online, like just everything runs kind of online. Without it, I suppose this wouldn't have started.
The internet is a place where you can actually make pretty meaningful connections. I mean, aside from real life, but that becomes harder because you're limited to geography. You wouldn't have met so many inspirational women without the internet because of the geography aspect, right? But
Yeah.
right. But another thing is about the I would say hesitancy of gamers to talk about their experiences and just open up and give feedback. That's pretty real, as gamers are pretty much introverts, right? Versus my side of the internet, which is like opinions, I would say.
Yeah.
People have opinions on your opinion and they want to share it because it's kind of egoic in a way. And I feel like the gaming
definitely.
space, no, literally, it's so, I would say it's kind of a circle jerk is the space that I'm in. Not to dumb it
to be
down.
honest, I feel like it works just because it's almost like a flow state. It's just the back and forth. Yeah.
It's so flow state. I feel like everyone's always thinking all the time in the opinions community, right?
Just a bunch of overthinkers, really.
Yeah, just a bunch of opinions. But the gaming world, though, it is different. The only thing that I see from the gaming world is it's like memes, sexualization, weird news, bad games coming out. And it's like it's already bad for dudes, I guess. But it's a drought for women, and it has been for a very long time.
Yeah. And I think there's even, honestly, even sadder sides, like honestly, like a lot of grooming with girls. Like you hear a lot of spaces where there was only men and a lot of older men,
Right.
and you sort of don't really acknowledge the age difference at the time, and then you look back on it and you
It's
realize it's really sad.
it's
Like I think most girl gamers can really attest to that you've had one creep in your life that you befriended online,
At
and you
least
didn't
one.
realize maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, I shouldn't have friended that 40-year-old. Like it's really sad, but I think that's a big part of it too, and I think that's what. I suppose that's another reason why. It's just nice to have. I guess it's just nice to have a space where you know for sure that majority of people are looking for maybe a bit more lightness. Yeah.
I agree. But I also think that some of that grooming was built into the skeleton of some of the earlier girls' games. Like, I don't know
Mm.
which one it was, but I watched this one YouTube video where this girl was talking about this one older girls' game where you could date. And the boyfriends had this like predetermined dialogue, but it wasn't predetermined. It was really specific to whatever you would say. So it was hypothesized that it was real guys. And some of them would be like, I'm a real guy. I'm 22, talking to 9-year-old girls, you know, and,
Yeah.
and being paid for it. And then also the
Yeah.
thematic nature of some of the games was to groom young girls into being like the ideal woman.
Yeah. Sometimes I think of my favorite one when I was younger, which was Movie Star Planet, and just the whole
Oh my
dynamic of
God.
that. Yeah.
has some
It's not
crazy.
great when I look back on it, and I think it's sad as well. It's not. I wish sometimes there would be different showcases of femininity,
Right.
just because it's a big umbrella. That's why I'm so not into the macho masculine
Right.
of the gaming industry, because it doesn't even have any like general appeal sometimes with a lot of the marketing, like just to appeal to both genders, I find anyway. It would just be nice to see a bit more variation. That's why I always gravitate towards more like Nintendo games, just because of the color schemes, and I suppose it's just something a little bit different, a bit more fresh. And I suppose it's really hard because there's so many different types of games. Like I can't really say that doesn't exist, but it would just be nice to see it more in mainstream gaming.
I mean, there's like an
Yeah.
obvious disparity in the way that it's designed, in the way that games are designed and marketed. I think like what the popular thought process there is more that targeting things to a male demographic is the default. The default is male. Like people
Yeah,
by
exactly.
default are male. So targeting it in that way doesn't exclude women, because that's also in the default, which is male. I don't know how to explain it really, but it seems
No,
like
but yeah. I understand your point, to be honest, because it doesn't just exclude women, it excludes men as well, just people who are looking for an alternative. That's why, to be honest with Go, I was surprised at how many boys are quite interested in it, and I think it's just because, obviously, it's just stupid like gender constraints, like assuming that boys like blue and girls like pink, just very basic. And I feel like that's so ingrained into the gaming industry when other industries are kind of evolving.
right.
Especially when if you think about the industry, it does, like in the UK at least, it earns the most. It earns more than the film industry. It is so
Wow,
impactful.
wow.
Yeah, the gaming industry is massive, and it's so impactful. It really is important to drive this. Like, I'm surprised that honestly more people haven't cashed in on it just because it's doing so well.
Okay, so
You
that's
know?
what I've been saying too. Does the world just not care about women enough, even when there is a huge like economic advantage here? Like there's a huge economic pit that can be filled with girls' media, women's media, especially in gaming, and they still don't care enough about women and their tastes to do that, to cash in. Why is that, do you think?
I
Pretty loaded question,
I
I
have no
know.
idea, because I suppose I'm one of the people trying to do it.
Right.
So I suppose that's why I'm in my head. Like it would just be, I think a lot of it is because it needs to come from. us or anyone who's kind of into that kind of feminine push.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a woman, but just from anyone who kind of connects with it or feels like a deep connection to it, who is motivated enough. But I actually, it's surprising. There's such a large appeal, but I feel like maybe gaming kind of reminds me of sports in a way. A lot of the time when you speak on it, people will question you a lot, especially if you're a woman. You know, when you walk into a pub and you say, "This is my favorite football team," and they're like, "Name 5 players," and it's like, "Just shut up." I feel gaming is it's the exact same environment, and sometimes it really puts you off wanting to represent the alternative just because it's such a festival. Like,
No, it's a dude ranch. Gaming is a dude ranch. It's dominated by men, and it's very purposeful how men dominate it. They do it in a way where women feel repelled to indulge, because it's like you turn on your mic and suddenly you've heard the worst thing said about you in years. So why should we be surprised that women aren't even wanting to advocate for women in the gaming space when it's that bad? But of course, it's so inspiring that women are still trying. Women are still trying and doing it. And even people who are just interested in things that are traditionally, quote unquote, for women. That's so important.
And I suppose the more I think about it, the people who are in those top positions, I suppose, just don't have that appeal within themselves to want to see that in gaming. They're the ones who really are proving, budgets on games to be developed and released. So if they don't want to see it, then we won't see it. At the end of the day,
it's a common struggle when it comes to the creative and corporate, where the shareholders, whoever's handling the money, limits the artistic pursuit. Like, the artist absolutely cannot do what they want to do perfectly because of budget restraints. So it's like, why do it at all? Especially for a demographic that you're not sure if you're going to be able to sell to. But I mean, you should be able to. You just don't have faith in that demographic. I feel like a lot of these companies do not have faith in a female demographic, even though, from my experience and my research, women are the most loyal when it comes to being a fan base of viewers or just people who like a thing.
That's why, when you think about some of the best-selling games, oh my God, if you think about The Sims, oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
Women will show you how much they will frickin' spend. It's unreal. I can't believe it. The fact that game is still going, despite like breadcrumbs that it gives.
It's
and
still
the fact
going.
that EA is like Saudi endorsed now, and EA's just it's gone like that.
Breaking news: EA is endorsed by Saudi.
Yeah, it came out like a month or 2 ago, I think it was. Yeah, I think it's angel investors or. Yeah.
Why do they need that? They're EA.
I suppose, to be honest with EA, they're so subscription heavy. I think that shows that they're failing. Yeah.
That does make sense.
And The Sims have like
all they have is Football Manager. I'm trying to think of what else. Like,
That's how bad it is.
What did my brother play on it? Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And you could probably play that on
Roblox.
It's so bad.
It still haunts my laptop. It's always popping up, and I'm just like, get off. Like,
go away.
Always freezing my laptop.
See, the thing is with EA, everything that you can do on The Sims is now free. But then again, I've never met a woman who has not indulged in The Sims at least once. So that is so true. Every woman I've ever met, have you played Sims at least once? It's either their daily, I play this everyday game, or I've played it at least once or a few times.
That's how I got into gaming, actually, because my mum was like a Sims fanatic since Sims 1.
Way.
Like, if you see, she has like a corner with like there's this whole Alienware just to run it. I'm like, this is too much. This is
That's kind of based.
And it's like, it's crazy. She's got like a whole shelf of just every single Sims 1, Sims 2, Sims 3, Sims 4. She's got like the limited edition stuff. She was like big Sims fan. And I
just killing
suppose
her
like watching her
Sims.
game, it looks so much fun. Like I suppose it's like the storytelling aspect. Um, you know, it was really sweet. It's almost like instead of storybooks, it's like I watched a bit of Sims. I just think it's like a funny,
It
I don't
is
know, like just a funny experience.
it is so fun. I love playing The Sims, and I think that storytelling aspect is what gets a lot of women
Mm,
wanting to play it. Because I mean, if we look
yeah,
at the demographic of, let's say, visual novels, it's either super sensitive guys or women or women. I don't
yeah,
understand.
that's so true. Yeah, that is so true. I didn't even think about that actually.
It's just been like my personal observation. I'll be like,
Mm,
oh, I love Claynette, and the most sensitive, quiet guy will be like,
mm.
I love the OST. I only listen to visual novel OSTs.
Yeah, that's why we were at school, like in the library, where it was like a little confession. They knew they could tell you because you were like the anime kind of gamer girl.
No,
Like,
yeah, it's just like, listen, don't tell anybody
yeah,
this, but,
yeah,
ah, gosh.
yeah. But yeah, to be honest, I didn't think that it would be so controversial posting the magazine sometimes, just
Er,
because in comment sections, really what gets a video going really viral is someone's always having an argument in the goddamn comment section. And it's just someone, I actually get it from two different sides. I get it, I got called, is it a trad femme?
Oh,
Something bizarre.
God,
I'd never
what?
heard the phrase before, but it's like really online phrase. Um, and I was like, oh my God, I literally don't think you know what you're talking about. This is just insane. I'm literally a lesbian as well. So I was just literally laughing at it. Like,
They'll
this is
call a
ridiculous.
lot of lesbians and women who love women. They'll call you a
Mm,
trap and they'll call you um they'll try to assume that you're anti-trans woman. It's like, what?
mm.
I'm pretty sure
And
the
it's not like
main
that at
majority of
all. Yeah.
and I was just gonna say the main majority of
Yeah.
style savvy players are trans women.
Yeah, exactly. Like a big portion of gamers you'll meet online are trans. It happens like that because really a lot of the spaces you can actually be out on is, I
Online.
think about when I was a closeted lesbian. That's why you're online. So I just thought that was kind of ridiculous. So I've really never paid that any mind. But the other comments that I get way more is just like guys saying this isn't needed or like
That's great.
just honestly just hateful comments.
Yeah,
Just like
It
what the fuck is
that
this?
blows my mind.
it may not be needed for them, you know.
Mm, yeah.
That's a common comment I get on any video I make about feminism.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the video go viral. It's always a bunch of guys arguing about this doesn't need to be talked about. Why not?
Yeah.
You know, I advocate for men a lot of the time because men are affected by the patriarchy too in many ways, right? I'll make those videos
Mm,
and then I'll make a video about the same exact topic and how it affects women. The same guys who are like, thank you for standing up for me, are like, why would you talk about this? It doesn't matter. It doesn't exist. So I can relate to that
mm.
very heavily because it's like, just because
Yeah.
you're not thinking about it doesn't mean it doesn't matter to someone else.
I kind of enjoy seeing it sometimes, not because I want to see that kind of crap on my page, but because it kind of reminds me that I'm in a bubble sometimes. Because
Right.
I only speak to women sometimes. Like when I game, it's really only with women. So I'm in my little bubble where everything's kind of perfect and
Right.
where it feels a lot better than when I was younger. But that's because I'm making conscious decisions about who I'm with and who I surround myself with. And so I don't meet those people in my day-to-day life. And you will. And there are people out there, for other people they will. And so I
Yep.
suppose you need that reminder and it makes you want to, I suppose, go against it more and want to talk about it. Exactly like what you're saying.
I think that bubble you're talking about is also, of course, where we feel the most comfort. So when we have to leave that bubble and we're put in uncomfortable situations, like recently, I don't go outside. I don't interact with men outside of my partner and like a couple friends. So I don't face misogyny often because I don't leave my house. It can't really reach me versus online.
Mm.
And then something abhorrently misogynistic was said to me online. And then it sparked
Yeah.
this feeling within me. Why am I making videos? Why am I speaking about my experiences? because of things like this, because of experiences like this. So it's like kind of needed at the same time. So I agree.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure you feel it more personally though, because I'm not really to be honest, the videos that do best for me are usually when I have my face in it for some reason, even if it's like a 2-second clip. That will be the one
Right.
that kind of takes off. If there's one where it just kind of slides, sometimes it does. A lot of the time, it's like when you put a face to it. So I suppose for me, it's like obviously I don't get comments on that, or it's like a 2-second clip. But I just can. It's hard to really put yourself out there and be the
Mm-hmm.
actual
Face.
face. Rather than this is a print, so really it's a collective of voices. It's not just one person
Mhm.
saying this is what I
Yeah.
think, this is my opinion.
Right, right.
I feel like people
Yeah.
just love the like underdog story of it, or like there's someone behind it it's like a passion, like they're following their dreams. I feel like people really like those type of content, and a lot of people resonated with you starting the magazine. I feel like that was played a big part in that.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. And sometimes I'd even just put my age
Yeah.
and it would be like, oh, you're young. So, yeah. So I know what you mean. That is, to be honest, that's part of the underdog aspect.
I think being an underdog is pretty much how you win. I think that's a great tactic to use when I mean, it's not even a tactic when it's who you are. You know what I mean? But the thing about showing your face is really hard, and putting yourself out there to be seen, because people are cruel. People can be really evil and do horrible things to you on the internet. That can affect you in real life, of course. So there's an aspect of bravery and naivety that you need to kind of jump into it with, because then it leads you to all the opportunity, which I wanted to speak of. You making your magazine, you're also accumulating guests. You're having different people write articles, and you're interviewing people, and people are making art for you. And I wanted to talk about your recent issue of Girl Magazine, issue 6, which was the fashion issue.
Yeah.
It really piqued my interest because, first of all, I've been following your magazine for a while. I dropped out of college like 2.5 years ago, and I guess I was even following it before that. And it made me want to go and pursue like what was it? I can't even remember after dropping out. Video game development. Yes, that's what I was. Because I was like, this is
cool.
Right. I was like, if I want to do anything with art, I want to make games that I would want to play, type of thing.
Yeah.
Especially with like the fashion aspect. I really love fashion games like Style Savvy and Dress to Impress.
Yeah, me too.
Right. And it's so sad that there's such a lack of good fashion games out there that are playable. Because a lot of them are not even playable.
Yeah. I think that, to be honest, is another conversation. I think about infantilization versus femininity.
Right.
And I think people think it crosses over often, but it's really not like that. It's really not.
People
like,
get really
I suppose
upset.
when you think of Style Savvy, people think it's a child's game just because it's a little bit more feminine. I've noticed this just tends to be the trend. It's the same with Hello Kitty and all that.
Yeah.
Although, to be honest, Hello Kitty's not a great example because that was originally targeted at kids.
Right.
But games like Style Savvy, it's meant to have a little bit of an older demographic. And with games like Infinity Nikki, you can see,
Right.
although that has its own problems.
It really does.
Yeah, they have a really dedicated, older fan base.
Yeah.
This is such a side note, but I remember when I first started this, because it was like a final major project for uni. So that's like a big chunk of your grade when you're doing like more like artsy degrees. And my tutor was looking at my project and she was saying, I think this is like more for kids. And I was just trying to explain to her my demographic and she completely didn't get it. And actually, I was kind of trying to explain more like decora and that kind of vibe and she was just like, I've been to Japan before. And I feel like that really, really summarizes a lot of people's opinions on just anything that isn't that kind of classic, kind
Yeah.
of Western, more mature
Wow.
look.
Especially in art school.
That they just assume it's for kids. Yeah. Yeah, it's especially in like an art school. Yeah. It was very narrow-minded, I thought.
Those
And
critiques. Yep. Sorry, continue.
yeah, I just feel like a lot of people have that opinion online. Like I've seen that a lot of times, and you know, even actually, to be honest, I've had a lot of innocent comments where people are like, "I want to buy this for my kids," and I'm thinking, "This isn't for kids." It's quite.
It's quite obvious
like,
that
more
it isn't for
like-
kids too.
Yeah.
I think it's just
Yeah.
an
yeah.
association with childhood and femininity,
Mm.
which is kind of
And I think,
stupid.
yeah. But yeah, I also think like by saying, "Oh no, this is more for kids," you're infantilizing us. You're just trying to say that, you know, our interests, unless they have some kind of
Mature.
I don't really know. I don't really know what other kind of character design they're looking for, other than I don't know. It's kind of, it reminds me of this discussion in gaming when it's like in Zelda when Wind Waker came out and then Twilight Princess came out. And it's like, which one did you prefer?
Right.
But it really, what people were upset about was that there was this chibi art style, and they thought Zelda was too mature for that. And then you got Twilight Princess, which is this like grungy kind of like for the boys kind of vibe. To be honest, I love it. But,
Right.
like, you know, that was what they were going for. And I don't know. I feel like they're both really great games, but you know, sometimes one is viewed less than just because of its art style. So I don't really know where this comes from, but I feel like it crosses over a lot with maybe more kind of girly art styles. Like, I don't want to say girly. I don't really like the word girly.
Yeah.
More feminine art styles. Yeah.
I think it is an association with femininity and childlike I don't know, traits, because you see this a lot with women who dress in J fashion. A lot of people will be like, "You're dressing up like a big baby." And it's like, no, that's not what it is. It's not like appealing to some sort of creepy demographic. It's more of the demographic that is creepy has a sexual connotation with anything feminine. And a lot of these J fashion styles are feminine.
Yeah. It doesn't help that sometimes it is perpetuated with, I suppose, like the Belle Delphine kind of figures. But I think that is more a comment on the audience than one specific person.
Yeah.
Every time.
People always say Belle Delphine ruined kawaii for everyone or whatever. And it's like, not really. She just...
Like, you all did.
Yeah, you guys did. You associated it with Belle Delphine.
Yeah. It's just, you choose what's in front of you.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
yeah.
And her representation of that type of thing wasn't even that accurate, or it was pretty like manufactured and commodified the way that she did it. So it's just like, they don't get it. I don't know.
No. To be honest, it's a whole different discussion, but I feel like that is the first kind of person that just get referenced a lot, and I've seen it in comment sections and stuff, and it's like, I don't even know how this crosses over.
I feel like in the last few years, especially since COVID, I feel like the cosplay, anime, gaming, that whole community kind of intersected with online sex work pretty heavily. So now it's hard to like disconnect the two. But yeah, exactly.
Definitely. Because I wouldn't say I'm not big into anime or anything like that. I just really like gaming.
Yeah.
And I'm just a bit more, not even that feminine, to be honest. I just like pink and things like that. I think it looks cute. It's so fun to design with. Like, it's like, you can make really fun color palettes. And to be honest, not every issue is super pink or anything like that. It's just to showcase more people who have had that feminine perspective in the industry too. Like, to be honest, I was thinking about when you said that you wanted to do game design. Were you still pursuing it, or you said you?
I straight up dropped out because of the math aspect. I was not passing.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
And the financial aspect, because I was going to like one of those for-profit art schools that the tuition is way too hefty. And I was already failing, so I was like, okay, fuck it. But I would like to make a game, indie. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I think you might be really interested. There's this girl called Emily who we interviewed for issue 5, and she is making a game called Lily's World XD.
Good.
And it's like a sweet, like feminine horror game, but
Ooh.
actually it's all about kind of body dysmorphia and pipelines, or not pipelines, pipe holes that are easy to fall into when you go online as a woman.
They're easy
I think
to
it's
fall
really
into
interesting.
in general.
In general, to be honest, yeah, with any kind of media. And yeah, she's making it at the moment. She's been developing it for some time, and she's been doing it all on her own. So I think her journey is just really interesting to follow, and she posts all about it online. Her name's Sondering Emily online, but she's really really interesting story. The game looks really cool. She's doing all the art for it too, and she's posting progress online. It's very cool. It's nice to just see someone like that online. Yeah.
That's really cool to see. First of all, a game being developed by a woman for women, tackling subjects that women usually tackle in their lives, like body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
Because for me, the first interaction I had with it was my own mother. She like straight up gave me a bunch of eating disorder books, like fiction.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to do this. You know, it's really not that hard to make women who are taught that they're worth nothing and their bodies are a commodity, that even something with a message against eating disorders can give you an eating disorder.
And it goes back to when we were talking before and we were saying, why not? Why can't we talk about these things online? That's why I'm so excited to see it in a game, because you never know what kind of media a little girl is viewing. And for me, I was always on games, so it was more likely that I was going to be taking in things from games. So to know a game like that was available and I would play and maybe see, I think that's really interesting. Yeah. Because a lot of the time, that kind of media, like talking about that kind of stuff, is maybe, in TV shows and that kind of thing. But I remember when I was younger, I wasn't really that interested in that sort of thing.
Right. I think that's important for the young female gamer, to have something that actually like teaches you values that are important, not values that are supposed to mold you into what society wants to mold you into, like the Girls Go gamification of it all.
Yeah.
Even though I love those types of games, the makeover aspect, there are a lot of harmful messages in a lot of those games.
Yeah, exactly.
Even like the cooking and the taking care of babies, those are the worst ones for me. I never even played them when I was a kid. Well, the baby ones. Because I was like, I'm not...
Yeah, the Cooking Mama and all that.
Cooking Mama is fun for me now as a young adult who doesn't have any like marriage cooking obligations or anything.
Yeah.
But just to be... The feeling of being primed for it as a child and being aware of it, it's gross. So it's important that there are games like that. So even the young girl who's aware...
I don't think I was as self-aware when I was younger, honestly. I remember playing those games and thinking nothing of it. And I didn't really consider at the time every single game I was playing was to do with things like childcare, looking after myself. I suppose at the time I was just really enjoying it, so I didn't really understand what it was teaching me. I remember I got into such a state when I was in my teens, I couldn't leave the house without makeup on. And I think about what probably caused that, It's obviously it's in conjunction with all the crap you see on social media, but I think just that kind of lays the bricks, and and the rest is just the cement in between. Just it holds it all together.
I completely agree, and I think it's so much worse with social media now for young girls, because even like girls gaming doesn't exist as much, so it's like you're not gonna go and play flash games if you're a casual gamer. You're probably just gonna learn how to do your makeup the way TikTok likes it, and learn how to take pictures nice and stuff, which is not a good pipeline for young girls, obviously. but that seems to be the direction we're
No.
going in.
I know. I was thinking, thank God I didn't have a front camera on my phone when I was younger.
Oh,
I had
wow.
one of those Windows phones. Yeah, so no, no front camera.
That's
Just on my
probably
back camera.
so good for your self-esteem.
Yeah, honestly, to be honest, I think because my mum was quite tech savvy,
But,
she was quite anti phones for a while. So I
right.
didn't have it till I was a little bit older, maybe 16, 17, which again, I think fueled the gaming side more because that
Right.
was how I contacted people online.
It was more of
I
a
feel like a lot of
hobby
people.
thing than a self-esteem thing.
Yeah, definitely. But also, I think it wasn't always the best. Those were the spaces I was seeking out,
Right.
friendships and interactions. Sometimes there's a balance, I think.
I mean, when
And
you're
I think it's really
younger,
hard to sustain that as a kid.
it's hard to figure out who is a safe person to be around. Like, you have this idea that, oh, I can talk to a 40-year-old because it's fine. It's not a sexual conversation. I'm mature. I know how to talk to people, blah, 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 blah. And then you get in that dangerous sort of situation. I feel like
Yeah.
it's too easy because kids don't know. My first boyfriend was 25 or 27 or something when I was 13 because I just thought,
Oh my goodness.
I was just like, that's normal.
Yeah.
But
That's exactly what I'm talking about there. Because I mean, because of course, because you're a child, you don't you want to think you're an adult so badly. I mean, it's obviously we're not even going to discuss. It was completely nothing you can do on your end. It's up to the predator not to be given that kind of access. But
right.
I suppose it makes you. To be honest, I don't want to go on too much of a tangent, but I suppose this kind of thing, it's tough to talk about because I don't think there is any solution to it anymore.
No.
With safeguarding, the only way it could have occurred was all the way back before MySpace and Facebook,
Right.
where it would have been policy, where it would have been in law, for these kinds of things not to happen. But everything happened after, and so I just think it's just too late now. It's like a whole can of worms. I think there's like I can't remember what documentary it is, but there was like this big Netflix documentary, and they were talking all about Facebook's lawsuit, and and that was all over the news, and I remember it was like some advisor or like a lawyer who was talking about how they had been advised on all these safeguarding practices, but at the end of the day, I don't want to get into it too much because I don't really know the ins and outs. But at the end of the day, it didn't equal profit, so therefore all of it was pushed out the window. And so now from then on, it just snowballs. It's honestly a depressing topic.
Yeah,
because it's like trying to fix. Like, I always think about the roads here, how the way they've been built, they're like Roman roads, and then just being tarmac over it again and again and again.
That's basically the
that's
internet.
really how I'd sum it up. Yeah. It's like too late. You'd have to literally dig it all up and start over again. But
and
it's
then
impossible.
someone would taint the started over a new leaf. Somehow.
Wait, say that again, sorry.
I was just saying that even if you were to clear up and clean up all of that, somebody would retarnish it. You can't be Kira for the new world. Somebody's going to fuck up the new world, and you're going to run out of pages in your death note.
I suppose, really, when I think about it, there's just so many different ways these things can happen on the internet. I suppose it's like what's that game where like you whack-a-mole? It's like that kind of thing. It's really popping up, and you're like literally, it's literally like that, isn't it? It's just gonna keep popping up. But I suppose, it just makes me sad because there could have been something a bit more widespread, an actual safety net.
Safety guard for child endangerment. Huh.
Yeah, I know.
It's ridiculous.
Crazy.
Ask.
It's crazy. And I suppose it makes me sad because I feel like that is an underlying factor in any conversation I have about femininity and gaming. That's just,
I mean, it's an underlying conversation when we just talk about not even feminism, just being women and talking, being taken advantage of, especially when we are minors, is going to come up eventually.
Mm.
inevitably. It's just literally a part of life as a girl and as a woman, unfortunately.
Yeah,
It's bound to come along, that conversation. But
yeah,
it's a
definitely.
really
Yeah.
sad one to have to keep bringing up over and over again because it keeps happening over and over again. It's not a dead horse. It's like a living horse, well fed and well groomed. Yeah,
Exactly.
if that's one way to put
And
it.
how do I add on to this?
No, it's okay. You don't have to. I just had to throw my horse analogy out there.
Your horse ring.
Exactly. But I think we've been battling with a lot of conversation about child engagement on the internet recently with the Epstein files and everything related to that.
Yeah. To be honest, that one's really difficult to comment on, to be honest, though, because not all the files are out at the moment. So I think there's been a lot of celebrities, like people are in their comments like, you fucking pedophile. And it's like, you can't actually really say that at the moment. It's not really confirmed. You know what? There's been so many different cases of that happening online, and the kind of witch hunt that happens because people refuse to fact check. I mean, that is just the internet, isn't it?
There was a lot of made up facts on TikTok about the Epstein files recently. Just very sensationalized type of stuff. But one thing that was real was Jeffrey Epstein owning a part of Limited 2 Injustice, which was the preteen girls like fashion brand store that you had in the mall. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And I actually love Justice. I was so obsessed with it. Like my closet was full of Justice.
Oh, Justice. Yeah, I know Justice. Yeah. It reminds me of do you have what's it called? Squiggle. It's like it's a squiggle or something like that. Yeah, it has it's like that, isn't it? With all the sparkles and the
You know, I hate to patronize British individuals every single time. You guys always blow my mind with the things that you say. Squiggle. That was so.
Oh, so you don't have it?
No.
Oh, sorry.
I love British people. I love the UK. I love Ireland. Oh no. It looks like we are having some technical difficulties. Might be due to me making fun of her for being British. Why did I do that? It's frozen. Laptop crashed. It couldn't handle the squiggle. I think so.
Okay, cool. Because I was like, oh, I think I really need to fix my laptop. I was like, this is just too much. I actually had a Google and it's smiggle, not squiggle.
Smiggle.
So I don't know what it's saying.
Okay.
Yeah, smiggle. I'm pretty sure you have smiggle because it doesn't look British.
Because I looked up squiggle and I couldn't find anything, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? So now I have to find smiggle. Oh, wait.
Alternative, but yes, I think there is.
I've been here because my mom went, we were in the UK for her college. She went to college in the UK for a little bit.
Oh, I see, okay.
So I've been there. They have some weird looking backpacks and stuff.
Yeah, that's my reference for Justice. That's what I imagine it's like. That kind of like sparkly, like aimed at like preteens, that kind of vibe.
It's exactly that vibe. That very like Claire's prepubescent girl type of. That sounds so bad, But
no, but you know what? That actually goes on to like a whole new topic about like the erasure of honestly the preteen, and I think that is like a whole can of worms in itself.
Kids are way too grown.
Kids are grown. I feel like a lot of people use that phrase to weaponize it, kind of like, to be creeps. But for the majority, it's more like a critique of the erasure of spaces for preteens. Like they can't even have that pivotal moment of their youth. Because being a preteen is important. I remember being a preteen. It was an important time that it was separated from teenagehood and childhood.
And it's all about exploration, and I think a lot of it does have to do with, I suppose, with not just gaming, for all kinds of media.
Right.
I feel like we have become so. I feel like a lot of the times when things are going on in the US, it kind of echoes into other countries, or
Right.
at least because it's the UK. UK's like America's like toxic little brother kind of. Like I feel like the culture just comes,
Corey
you know,
Henry.
and so I feel like there's kind of a big gender discussion in the US, like very like an obsession with trans people, and I feel like that's manifested in the segregation of genders. And I feel like that actually really affected pre-teenhood because that was all about exploring and being whoever you wanted to be,
Right.
whatever, any kind of hairstyle, any kind of style, you know. And I felt like that was, I don't know if you like, if you, I'm kind of thinking about, I suppose before social media, like you just weren't afraid to do other things too. And I think gender
Right.
performance has a lot to, I want to talk about it properly, but I don't know if I have the right words for it. But
No,
I
that's
just feel like
okay.
that has a huge part to play in it. Really, because I feel like it's echoed from there being a big gender discussion in the US. It's kind of echoed into a lot of European politics and
Oh,
therefore UK politics. And I think that's affected a lot of opinions in the UK about how we're raising our kids. But maybe if we just let them be kids,
I.
you know, then that would allow them to really experience, you know, those years from 9 to, you know, whatever.
But then there's
It
also,
really affects all kids.
I think it does. I think it also ties into a larger conversation of, like, for me, the majority of my gender expression was found and expressed online. So, how do we
Yeah.
create a safe space for children to find a safe space, you know, around gender expression and finding themselves beyond the bounds of traditional gender expression? You know, where can
Yeah.
that be a safe space for children in real life opposed to online?
Yeah, because it's not about conformity, and I think that's what people think girl is a lot of the time, and it's being what's expected of a woman. But I actually don't think that's very true. I think what's expected of a woman is that kind of, you know, that actual trad wife allegation.
And
That is
also
truly at the core of it,
conformity,
what is expected.
not even creating a magazine targeted for women, made for women, not even targeted towards them, just made for them and their interests.
Mm.
You know, there's something inherently anti-conservative about that,
I'd like to think so.
right?
I'd hate to be on that side.
It seems like a lot of people are weaponizing the trad wife mentality and lifestyle and ideology by like
Yeah.
making platforms about trad wifeism. But it's like, if you were a true trad wife, shut your mouth. Be conform.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, being on social media, yeah. It's really shocking, and I think another thing I kind of think about is I, s- I suppose it's just yeah, hyper femininity getting conflated in
Right.
like with both of them. Like just being hyper feminine does not mean serving the man. But it's because I
That's
don't even know how the two gets
it's a very common
confused.
misconception. It's like, for women to indulge in femininity, it's seen as conformity to patriarchy. But like, what if you just like quote unquote girly stuff? I like the
Yeah,
stuff not because men don't even like girly stuff. Where's this idea coming from?
that's actually really what I was thinking. It's more so this isn't actually male gazy in the slightest.
Nope.
So I think that just throws that argument out the window. And also that men indulge in this kind of thing too. Like there is honestly quite a big chunk of my audience. I think it's 60% women, 40% male. I think there is a lot of men who are just afraid to comment that
Because
online. And a lot of them like fuck with it too, and it's not even their personal aesthetic. Like they
right,
just like that kind of vibe.
because they think it's cool, because they think it's important. But to admit that would be to admit you're okay being ostracized from your male peers
Mm.
because you're aligning
Because
yourself
yeah,
with something
yeah.
inherently feminine, quote
And
unquote.
then you get all the performative male kind
Yeah.
of discussions
Yeah.
online, then if you do. So it's like, it really is always a lose-lose situation.
You can really never win when it comes to supporting women, which is crazy to say and think. But it's, I mean, the results are there.
Yeah,
I
I think
mean,
that's bang on.
thank you. I think just from speaking to other women and comparing it to my own experience with even having viewers, because a lot of my male viewers are only, it's the statistics for women commenting versus men commenting. Well, men actually comment more, but they're less likely to comment on something that has nothing to do with them, for instance. It could be egoic. It could be pushing a certain agenda. If you're like supporting men and talking about men and uplifting men, then they're going to care. But if you're doing that for something related to something that's traditionally for women, they won't care. Or rather, they'll be scared to express they care because it's not for them. And for a man to admit they care about something that's not for them, well, that's kind of like social suicide for men, apparently, which is really crazy. High stakes, high pressure for no reason.
Yeah, I agree. I suppose maybe I just don't see it from that side. Where I don't see what there is to lose, but I just feel like every time, yeah, it kind of goes back to, when people are always talking about female artists
Right.
and how online they can never really win. I'm trying to think of who, but there's just been, so many.
So many.
Yeah, just so many, where it's just like Chapel Roan and all of that
And-
was like the most recent I can think of off the top of my head.
Although, I
And
personally...
all she was doing was,
Mhm.
but all I was going to say was just all she was doing was voicing an opinion online.
Right.
And I think there is something inherently wrong that was so opposed to a woman spreading her opinion online. It's like people back in the whatever, like the 1500s yelling witch. It's just ridiculous.
It's kind of like they are gripping at straws to defend an imaginary man. There doesn't even need to be a man in the equation to criticize this woman on something like an opinion. And I don't like Chapel Roan's music in the slightest. However, her opinions have all been right. Motherhood is miserable. Absolutely, she was right about that. I mean, if you talk to any woman ever who's been a mother, she'll say for the majority it's a miserable experience. She said, don't fucking be parasocial with me. Fair. She said, don't be rude to me when you're taking pictures of me because I'm fucking famous. Like, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah, I think it's just having an opinion that doesn't really personally affect other people. I think people don't really understand the difference between that. Her saying that about childbirth doesn't take away from other women's experiences who maybe had, a great time or whatever you want to call it. But but it's damaging. But it's damaging when when you're going online, you're saying "fuck all women."
Right.
We don't need them in gaming. That's
where
not. But I really it sounds basic, but I guess it's not basic online.
No, it's just not nothing's really ever basic.
Basic online, yeah, exactly.
Anything can snowball into the craziest thing ever and become a thread of anything can become anything. It's like Wikipedia. Have you ever played that game? That Wikipedia clicking game? Speed run?
No, actually. I don't think so. But I feel like I might have, is it from like years ago? I feel like it rings a bell, but very far back in my mind.
I don't know how old it is, but I've been playing it recently. It was introduced to me by my producer, Drew. It's kind of really like and no offense to Drew, it's very much like a young white man's game. Where it's on a browser and you click links to get from one idea or concept to another on Wikipedia.
Okay.
So My Little Pony to like Saddam Hussein, you can find it in a certain amount of clicks in a certain amount of time on Wikipedia.
Oh, yeah, I know this game.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's just like a website, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's quite a good one.
Yeah, no, honestly, that sums it up though. It really does, and it really goes to show you, actually, to be honest. Just I think when you play things like that, it almost feels like the universe where everything is endless and every
Yeah.
single thing has been out there online. But it's just totally not the case. That's why I just there are so many women in gaming. I feel like there are so many more of us who really could speak up
Right.
and platform this more, even if it's just a small hobby for you. It doesn't even have to be the center of what you, just to comment on a video,
Right.
just to support a bit more. I don't know. I just feel like more of that could be online coming from ourselves. Sorry, I feel like I'm going on a bit of a tangent.
No,
But
this
do you know
is
what I
what this
mean?
is for.
Yeah.
This is the place to go on a tangent.
See, I am a yapper. I was saying, honestly, I'll just yap for ages.
Exactly. You're in the right place. This is the place for professional yappers. Come on.
Very professional.
Yes.
In my chat.
No, you really are. You really read as so got your stuff together. Your website is amazing. Your layout of your magazine is amazing. Everything is so polished. It really is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And honestly, it's just like a passion project. And I you know what? Going on to like a new point, I was just thinking about there's so many people who email me and are like, "How do you start this?" But I just think people need to honestly use that resource of all the free information online. There's so much. I think you made a video about not everything needs to be a tutorial, and I was thinking that I think people forget like it. I can't think of any other analogies, but like you wouldn't give away the secret ingredient in like
The Krabby
the Krabby Patty formula, you know. You know what I mean? You wouldn't do that. So why would I just, and it's not about gatekeeping either. It's just more so just, it's quite specific, you know, like there's not really too much I can tell you,
And
to be very honest.
I'm very of the opinion, and I keep trying to push my viewers and other people who have never seen me before. Just do it. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that ideology is pushed by like these male podcasters who are very harsh in the way that they deliver their message. So a lot of women don't really take it in because it's like they're idiots, pretty much. I feel like a lot, right? Because it's like, why would I listen to him? But I feel like a lot of women need to realize that it's within them and that they're going to figure out the answers on their own through their own process, and they don't need a guidebook.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, and I suppose a lot of kids online, I suppose we're so used to having, oh my God, with AI, like everything force-fed down your throat.
Yep.
Like you don't even think for yourself. So I think that's where this kind of mentality has come about more recently. Because I don't know if I feel like I never saw this really growing up.
Yeah.
The whole kind of, even like for a small video, it'd be like, can I have a tutorial on your hairstyle? I suppose that's quite unproblematic.
No,
but but I just,
there's a lot of human creativity lacking in the need for a tutorial for every little thing. I mean, yes, people will call you the devil, the most heinous bitch alive for not giving you a tutorial on how you make your eyes look so sparkly or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But it's not that serious.
I think it's just, I think it's not that I would have a personal problem. I just think it's exactly what you're saying, is people are so aggressive in the comments when you don't.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the creators I see online, and it's like they've not got back in a day. And someone's threatening them in the comments.
It's literally like a national emergency. Even if you reply, it gets lost in the seas of replies, and you're still a heinous bitch, but that's what it is to be a woman, I guess. So it's like, why even respond?
Yeah. No, exactly. And there is a difference in the comment section like that. When you are feminine presenting, the comment section is always a landslide if it gets on the wrong side.
Dude. A recent sorry, I keep interrupting you because of the lag.
No, not at all. Don't worry at all. All I was going to say is, but maybe my view is quite tunnel vision because of the nature of view pages, you know, like Instagram, whatever it calls it now, it's feed or I don't know.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Like my algorithm is tailored for someone like me.
Right.
So maybe when I kind of see this kind of crap in comment sections and even just tapping on it to look at it, you know, maybe TikTok thinks I need to see this more. So I don't know if my opinion is super skewed just because of how social media is now.
Well, I mean, you're kind of forced into your own individual echo chamber. It's hard to see a perspective outside of your own because the algorithm is built to do that. It's not necessarily user error, you know? It's built that way for a reason. And movie plug that might interest you. This is a movie about this very phenomenon of being stuck in your own online echo chamber. I don't know if you watched it yet. It's relatively new. It actually had an actor that was in a Black Mirror episode. We were talking about this before we started filming.
Oh, cool.
Who was in the one that he was like keeping these Star Trek characters hostage.
Oh, yeah, he's really good. Yeah.
It was that guy from that episode. It's a movie called Begonia. He's an online conspiracy theorist.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
You saw it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
How'd you feel about it?
Well, to be honest, I'm not like a movie buff, but I didn't really like the ending too much. But then I spoke about it with a friend, and they said they loved that when it was, sometimes when they do twist endings like that,
Right.
they'll give it 2 minutes, and it kind of feels a bit half-assed. But they didn't like it at first, but then they enjoyed the last 10 minutes because it was just so like. It wasn't even 10, I think it was like 20 minutes of it being like this whole, like, this is serious.
It was mind-boggling. I was like, wait, spoiler alert, he was right the entire time.
But you know what, I did love the message. I think it's based on a Japanese film?
Oh, I didn't know.
It's based on it's like a Western adaptation of it. And I think the original one, yes, I think there's slight plot differences, but it's based off it. Yeah.
I think that's so cool. And one unpopular opinion I have that has been super controversial recently is that I don't care when movies completely copy an anime or a show, or I don't care. I think it's cool because, first of all, they're not blatantly copying. Most of the time, they're obviously referencing things because they loved that piece of media and they wanted to bring it to a wider audience, like a Western audience, right? What the fuck is wrong with that? What's like, no one is ever going to watch Curry, the lost shoujo anime. Let's make it into a movie so America can see it and the West can watch it or whatever,
What kind of things are you thinking of specifically?
I'm thinking of quite a few things specifically. I'm thinking of Stranger Things being based off of Elfen Lied. I'm thinking of Kill Bill being based off of, what was it, Tony? Kill Bill was based off of, was it old Chinese movies or Westerns or both?
It was like a mix.
A mix of both. Things like in that realm where it's just like, just take inspiration from something. It should be okay.
Yeah. I suppose I've never really thought about this properly. It's like a new thing to think about.
I've just been seeing a lot of fighting
it's really
about
difficult because, all I can kind of think of is just sometimes when they just get it really wrong, like Ghost in the Shell and things like that with the casting.
Horrible adaptations.
So that's kind of, like really piss poor adaptations and Avatar and all that. And
One Piece.
That's my opinion.
Has been having a debacle about that because they keep casting people who are not of the same ethnicity of that character. Oh, actually, I wanted to talk to you about this. This has to do with making characters that already exist female as a way to update them.
Yes.
How do you feel about that? Do you think it's empowering? Do you think it's disempowering? Do you think we should just be creating female stories, like stories about women that haven't previously existed? Or should we keep changing male characters to be female in a way to be empowering, kind of?
Yeah, I think for me, I really enjoy it when I see like maybe the ethnicity of a character changes because there's been some kind of it, and it really impacts the plot and it makes perfect sense. And it's like it's used as maybe not even as a device in the story, but when it's cleverly done. And for me, I think that's impactful. But I think when it comes to gender, and I suppose this is something I can actually speak on, being a woman.
Right.
I don't really connect with it, and I suppose I'm trying to think of a specific example when I've seen that happen. Can you?
Oh, okay.
Something to jog my memory. Yeah.
I've seen this happen mostly with movie franchises. Like we've had the Ghostbusters girls team, We've had
Oh yeah. Oh okay. Yeah.
like things of that
Yeah.
nature where
And there's like discussion. I think they've been talking about making James Bond a woman now.
oh, okay. So now they're going to make
Okay. Yeah.
this sounds like I'm on a conservative podcast now. Now they're going to make James Bond a woman.
I know.
What's next?
I know. I'm sicky. I need to like choose. I'm just because I have my opinion of it on it.
Right.
But it's not very. Yeah. I think for me, with those kinds of stories, like with James Bond, for example, his gender is a huge part of the story.
Right.
And being and I suppose it's a completely different story. So when you replace them with a female character, I just don't really see how it does justice to either the character or woman, because that's who you're trying to appeal to by
Right.
doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really see my story being told in a male character.
To me, it always feels very half done, half baked. Like you're just throwing a
Maybe that's
woman.
it.
Yeah, like you're throwing an already done story and you're putting a female body being the representative of this story that's already been told, and you're changing it up slightly to fit what's more woman-like, what would happen in a woman's story, but not really, because you're not considering it, because you're not even considering that women can have stories that are not just like an adapted part. It's the literal media version of Eve being built from Adam's rib.
Yeah. And I actually think about that with a lot of spin-offs in games. It's always like the daughter of someone,
Right.
some guy was like, to be honest, I think of like Professor Layton. That was one of the spin-offs.
Oh.
And, Enola Holmes with Sherlock
true.
Holmes. Yeah, just it always tends to be an extension like that.
Yeah.
It
Because
wouldn't be so noticeable
Oh.
if that wasn't really
Yeah.
kind of the only ones I can, you know what I mean? Like, it seems to be that's typical.
I think it's typical because women are seen as an extension of their male counterparts.
Yeah. Isn't
Like-
the new Witcher, like, the new Witcher game, is she related to the main guy in Witcher 3? Like, I don't know. But it's like a girl now. But
I'm such a fake gamer. I've never played Witcher.
Oh, she-
Sorry, I really wanted to answer that question there.
Dude, I'm the fakest gamer. I play, for the last few weeks, I've been playing Style Savvy on my iPad on the emulator app, covered in crumbs, grease, sweat, and tears. Literally chud maxing on Style Savvy. I've played all 4 games through and through. I'm about
Oh
that
my
way.
god. I need to get on that because I've not played all of them. To be honest, I play a lot of like games that are nostalgic. I know. I play games that are quite nostalgic to me.
Yeah.
So the last game I was playing was there's a really random game called Fever Pinata, and you're basically like there's like these little pinata animals, and you like tame them, and like I don't really. It's actually very difficult to explain because it's quite
No,
bizarre
it's
concept.
awesome. It's niche.
But-
It's cool to have that like one niche game that's nostalgic for you.
Yeah, I honestly have there's loads that I really loved. I loved a lot of like indie ones when I was younger. There's a really cute kind of Japanesey one called Chibi Robo, which has a cult following, and I played
Dude,
that when I was younger.
that
and
sounds
that was
cool.
my favorite game. Yeah, there was another character called Jenny, so I was like, oh, if it was meant to be.
Oh, is it the same Jenny as my what was it? She's a robot. She was a robot on Nickelodeon. She had a cartoon. Her name was Jenny, and she was a teenage
no.
robot.
Oh, really? To be honest, I don't really know those kinds of shows. You know,
Oh,
those
they
kinds
did not air anywhere outside of the U.S., so I should have assumed.
Yeah, I was like,
It was.
all those kinds of Nickelodeon, like Disney ones. I don't really.
You might be interested in it because her name is Jenny. She's a teenage robot. I think her name is Jenny.
Yeah,
And yeah,
that's a teenager.
she's a teenage robot. Her design is super sick. She's super cool. Badass.
I feel like maybe it rings a bell. Maybe it rings a bell. You know, Jenny is. This is such a side note. It doesn't have to be
It's
good,
okay.
but it's a name that gets used really often. Actually,
Oh.
to be honest, in a lot of media. Like
What?
I've not met many others. Kind of weirdly, it's kind
In
of a
real
common
life.
name. But yeah, in real life I haven't really. But in loads of media, you actually find it's a name that's used quite often because everyone annoys me with it. You know, with some kind of reference. I've tried every.
That's kind of awful. I can't imagine because I have a pretty strange random name. So there are no references. If I was being referenced something, the only reference is, and this is for my real name, is for a German pop group from the 70s. That's the only reference. And it's unknown.
Okay, I'm gonna try to ask that to like a friend who's like really savvy with his
Oh, they'll
music. I feel
find
like he's
it.
gonna do this. Oh, really?
I
You're
bet.
telling me your name's not Momo?
No, I don't. I'm just co-opting a Japanese identity. He said,
You know, I was really excited when I saw when you have the red hair. I was like, we're like
I was
joining forces. Like, we don't know what we might create here.
exactly. I was like, should I mention that we had the same exact kind of hair? Kind of like, this is awesome.
It's like it looks really red on camera, but it's meant to be pink.
Yes.
It's meant to be pink.
I was like, it
Yeah.
is more pink, so I'm not going to be like red twinsies because I hate when people do that to me.
You know, honestly, me too. Every time a guy sees my hair, he always says, I like your red hair. And I'm like, I didn't get it to this color for nothing.
Okay.
This is pink.
PSA for men: stop saying colors. Stop trying to make people think you know what colors are which. You guys can't see colors. Just accept it. Stop talking about colors. It's not your
No,
domain.
most of you are colorblind.
All of
honestly.
them. Even my
Yeah.
partner will be like, oh, the green thing. Do you mean the thing that's literally blue? What's your problem?
Yeah.
It really irritates me when someone gets
Yeah,
like
me too.
colors wrong. Oh, that's UK Fanta.
Yeah.
I bet it tastes healthier.
Oh, you know, that's what I've never been to the US, but I always think I'm kind of worried to go over because of all the food. Sorry, it's such a tangent,
Dude,
but
it's
like
okay.
because of all the food, like the stuff, it kind of freaks me out. Although we left the European Union, so who knows what kind of food regulations we're going to get now? I'm
Right,
pretty scared. I know it's been years, but you know, like still
It's
happening.
been this long. I think you guys will be fine.
Yeah, oh no, honestly, you should see what they're doing. You should see what they're up to now.
I'm kind of scared. I've only been keeping up with American politics, and even reluctantly, because with ICE, it's just ICE was literally in my neighborhood 2 weeks ago. I couldn't leave the house because they were knocking on everyone's doors and patrolling for days, day and night, helicopters, all kinds of weird shit going on. So it's like I can't barely escape the politics on my front doorstep.
Yeah.
I'm not really paying
Then
attention to
global
the rest of the world.
Yeah. No. And I feel like that's every country, to be honest. Like you're so like in your own little bubble.
Yeah.
That you. But I mean that is life. You know, you only have a comment on your perspective, what you're experiencing at the moment.
Right.
I know. All the, yeah. I'm really sorry about all the ICE stuff. I keep saying this
No,
about
it's okay.
America. It's just so fucking awful. Just like it's just scary. Yeah. But I'm not really much to say, but.
I mean, you guys over in the UK have been dealing with some scary stuff. The last thing I heard was from last year where I think it was Filipinos were being targeted. And I think it was not ice, but rather acid attacks. And some people were being burned alive because people thought they were Filipino. So, like, some crazy stuff is happening in the UK simultaneously.
Yeah, to be honest, there's been like a big, because of the whole gender thing I was talking about, I mean, there's been a big rise in transphobia in the UK.
Yeah.
And so that's like a big thing that we've seen. I mean, I'm sure to be honest, you might have really heard it. Like there was that, it was really awful, but Brianna Jai, who got stabbed up north, so sad, and she was so young, and that was a transphobic attack, and the media were even reluctant to name it as such. And actually, I'm trying to remember why we're on this point, but that is really what's been going on in the UK at the moment. And I think, and it affects everyone. It really affects everyone. And I wish people would realise that it perpetuates that we cannot explore outside ourselves in any kind of like it even extends to like gaming, like your hobbies. Right. If someone says this is a traditionally masculine hobby and this keeps getting perpetuated, then at some point, you know, you never know what might happen if we keep giving into these kinds of ideologies. I know it sounds like not to fearmonger, but, you know, it always starts from that kind of trickle down, you know.
Because everything is political. All of our actions.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And video games are political inherently. I mean, just the way they came about.
Any kind of art. Any kind of art.
Indeed.
So... That's why, when Sydney Sweeney was on that interview and she was like, I'm not really about that kind of, or I don't even know what the hell, bloody
Okay.
hell she said, but just something stupid. And it's really sad. It's honestly really sad to see, because it's not even about having a platform, but just partaking in that kind of stuff and being around those types of people, where a lot of the time in these kinds of art industries, even with gaming, people who are working behind the scenes are minorities.
Steven?
We could really do with those voices, and you're working hands-on with those people. This parallels what's going on in the gaming industry, really. People not speaking out about the sexual harassment women experience on a day-to-day basis in the industry.
I mean,
I mean, yeah.
I was just gonna say the experience of being a woman in the gaming space, and this is like, I don't know if you've been to any gaming conventions or tournaments or type of thing. When you experience it in real life, I don't want to say it's worse than online, but it's kind of, you can't ignore it, you can't turn it off, it's something that you're going to experience all day at that event for being a woman existing in that space, There's really no escape.
Yeah, I always end up gravitating towards a certain kind of person just because I just don't really feel like I fit in.
Right.
Yeah. And I've never really felt like I fit into any of those types of spaces. I'm not very, yeah. You have to be very cookie cutter.
You have to fit the sort of like gamer fan, anime fan mold. And I never felt really at home at conventions or anywhere, but I mean, at conventions specifically, when I'm alone at a convention, I don't have to interact with anyone, I feel at home. But when I realize what the people at conventions, what kind of type of people they really are, it definitely dampens the experience. And especially with the amount of misogyny you experience. Like, just at my recent convention, I was followed around the entire time by this one guy who I literally just asked for a lighter from. Until the night hours. He followed me to my car. And then there was this one guy who took a picture of me and my friend for no reason. He was really strange. He smelled bad. I don't know. And then, what was it? This was like the worst. Did I erase it from my brain? This one guy came sitting next to me asking if I handmade my cosplay, thinking I was dressed up in punk attire. I was dressed as Nana. He was a punk at an anime convention asking me if I made my last minute Nana costume, thinking I was a fake Shein punk.
I shouldn't laugh, but do you know
No,
what?
it's
It really
funny.
just,
It's ridiculous.
I suppose this is like another reason why I think people don't comment online as women to say that they like this kind of stuff, because this is kind of the attention you might inadvertently
Yep.
I don't want to say bring upon yourself, because it's not you, but
It's a natural result.
expose yourself. Yeah. Like, and it's so not fair.
It's not
It's
fair.
so not fair.
Because it's like, in order to have community as a gamer, or someone into like alternate hobbies, you have to be okay with like sexual assault becoming a joke or something that you overlook, or you have to become comfortable with people sexualizing younger girls or people who look younger, or over-sexualized characters, or you have to get comfortable with things that as a woman just don't feel right, because
that's the rape culture in games, and to be honest, it affects a lot of young boys as well. Like, have you seen Adolescence?
I have been avoiding watching it because it terrifies me. That whole pipeline scares me. Those young boys terrify me.
Honestly, it's an important show, I think, and I think a lot of people should take the time to watch that show, because it's a really real thing that is happening, and I think it explores it in a way that isn't. I think a lot of the time when men's mental health is brought up, it's always as a comparison to women's mental health, but I don't know why we can't just talk about both topics. And it both matters, and right now we're just talking about this, and then next day we'll talk about that. Why does it have to be in a comment section? Oh, we told you, this, that, and the other, and that kind of thing. I think that show approaches it in a really healthy way. So, yeah, I think that really reflects what's going on online right now, is these boys are seeing the way other boys talk about other not even just other women, other minorities online,
people in general,
degrading them,
for real.
Yeah a lot of white supremacy too, to be fair. And these are like breeding grounds for this kind of shit. So
And it's carefully
yeah.
manufactured too. Just with what we were talking about earlier, the Epstein files. Jeffrey Epstein was in direct association with the creation of 4chan. Like, these things were all created for a reason. These things were manufactured for a purpose.
Yeah. And I wonder how many more pedophiles that aren't just almost, I don't want to call him a scapegoat because obviously he's a disgusting man,
Right.
but the media is scapegoat because you know
Right.
that he just represents thousands of them.
Thousands
really.
of them, and also
Yeah.
the normalization of him, the way that we memed it, kind of made it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I've seen that online as well, that whole discourse about how we've become too comfortable making a joke of everything. Although I think that's just a kind of straw man's argument because people are going to comment, there's literally nothing you can do about it.
Right.
It just is what it is. People are going to make memes. Like, I don't think it really lessens the severity of the situation.
No.
I just think the frustration comes from the same people making those memes refuse to comment on it in any kind of other way.
Right.
If you're going to engage in some sort of way,
Then engage
properly,
right.
like without it being some kind of,
And I think it's also gotten to a point where, hold on one second, where, yeah, Jeffrey Epstein is just seen as kind of like an incel. And incels are just like guys who live in their basements who meet. They're harmless, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just the more that we perpetuate the idea, first of all, these guys are betas and not like actually evil. It's almost
there's
like...
so many... Yeah. I was going to say there's so many different opinions on this because there's... what's her name again?
Jamila?
Yeah, Jamila Jamil. She was speaking about it on a podcast. I think she has interesting opinions sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes she goes against the grain, but it's really interesting to listen to as she is a very devout intersectional feminist.
Right.
I think she's a really important voice. She was talking about how she pities these men.
Right.
But then there's the other argument that, like you're saying, is that we shouldn't pity them because in a way it infantilizes them and then takes the blame off them. But I actually don't think that was really what she was saying. I think it's all about not engaging with these types of people. When you pity someone, they're usually kind of just like, and then they're out of your mind 2 seconds later.
Right.
And I think that's really what we should do with these types of people. Because sadly, this is kind of their fuel,
I mean...
That's why they're on the computer.
Engaging with them is platforming them effectively. So the less that we interact with them, the less of a platform, because the less attention that they will receive. But unfortunately, it seems like we're addicted to giving these people attention in this day and age.
Yeah, and I think that's all a result of just the way social media is built. It's meant to be this kind of serotonin pothole.
Yeah.
So it's bound to be stuck in that cycle, engaging and liking and replying. So if you are to be in that cycle like the rest of us, at least engage with media properly, take in what you're reading, and I don't know, it all sounds quite basic, but I suppose I just think this is something that gets forgotten a lot.
I think we should also be focusing on engaging with, I don't know, like more intentionally engaging with the media that we take in. Like, for instance, choosing to do something where you would learn. And learning, it doesn't have to be like learning how to, I don't know, build a tank. It can be learning the experiences of other people. It's still a learning experience. That's why things like Girl Magazine are so important, because you feature real life experience and you allow women who are in the gaming sphere to speak and have their voices heard, even if it's not their physical voice, even if their voice and their face is not seen, their voice is still heard in one way or another.
Yeah, and I think because honestly, a lot of the women I've spoken to is because other gaming media sources are just simply not interested for some bizarre reason, even though what they're doing is so goddamn interesting.
Right.
So yeah, there really is just this lack of wanting to report on feminine media. So it's nice to know, it's nice to carve that kind of space, but it would be nice to see it from more people. And I was going to say something else, but I'm trying to remember now.
Take your time.
Yeah. What did you just say before? Just to...
Oh, I was just basically
Yeah.
going on about how when the main culture kind of doesn't deliver, you have to create a counterculture. And that's why it's so important
Yeah.
to create one.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was, I suppose with your social media account, I think about commentary channels, and I just wish people, the way they digest commentary videos, I wish it didn't have to be 2-minute snippets of like kind of relatable content just to get someone hooked. I suppose it's kind of a comment on our attention span,
Right.
but it's also on our ability to connect to things, to not. I feel like we have to really be hit in the face when we're online now for things to make an impact, because we just see so much every day.
Right.
And I think it changes the way you put out this kind of representation.
It changes the way that
online.
you interact with the content you make and the things that you put out. Because you
That
have to
too.
remember how that algorithm works for it to reach people, right? So it's kind of like,
But again, yeah.
I was just going to say, it's
It
kind
just-
of like
yeah.
being imprisoned by an algorithm. Like, algorithm is God for a creator.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's bang on. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that you're so constricted. So it actually is, in a way, it's actually almost easier to get your point out there because it's very much a formula.
Yeah, it is a formula.
But then at the same time, yeah, like you said, it's very much a constraint. If you do want to, I don't know, I think people could really benefit from listening to maybe, I suppose I'm saying let's bring YouTube back, but it's already had some kind of resurgence, I feel.
Right.
I think it's resurged a bit recently. And I think that's because people are craving that sort of thing, but instead of turning it into a trend, I wish it was just more actual
Authentic
waves.
and organic.
I think it's like the whole like analog kind of trend that was happening.
Right.
But I just thought it's sad that trend is even attached to that.
Associated.
Because really,
I mean,
yeah,
I get comments about, oh, you're LARPing. The only cameras I have are analog cameras. Am I supposed to film on my iPhone to not LARP? Why would I film
what
on
does
my
that mean,
iPhone? Sorry?
What word, sorry?
LARP.
LARP.
What does LARP mean?
Like to role play. Like who you
Oh,
are. It's the
okay.
new word for performative.
Yeah, oh, okay. Is this slang?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So this is
It's
online.
based off of
Okay.
LARP.
Yeah, it's based off of actual like live action role play LARPing.
I just found out what MOG meant, so God, tell me now.
It's don't fall into the pipeline I've fallen into. I know ask me anything. I know it all. I'm the acclimator for being like chronically online.
Honestly, it really was me, but I feel like it's actually quite hard to be into gaming when you get to this age, just because
So
before you
true.
pour so many hours into it, but then now, you know, I suppose it's being an adult, isn't it? You have to prioritize. You have to prioritize because you can't game as much.
That's
But
why
gaming could be such like a sinkhole. You put so many hours into it.
I became a content creator, so I could play games unlimited for the rest of time.
Yeah. I would say that's me, but sadly I have to work too.
I'm in a lucky position not having to pay for where I live. I'm very lucky in that aspect. Otherwise, I would
That's
still
very
be
good,
working.
Yeah. To be honest, that's really it, isn't it? It's rent. That's the huge
Yeah.
chunk. But I feel like that's why I always say to people, if you can live at home with like your parents,
Do it.
that is like, you know, live at
If you
at home
can
for
live
as
with
long
someone
as you
else's
can.
parents, live with any
Yeah,
old
that
people.
too. I've done that. Like, it literally it's the best.
I mean, free meals, free electricity,
do what you
free
can.
water. Come on.
I'm saying sponge off people, but no, but really, like if you have that kind of support system, it does make a world of difference. Because it really is easy to say, just do it yourself,
Right.
just start your project and things like that. Obviously, we're saying this as if you have no financial constraint. But I started something like Girl just off my laptop. It really was no costs. You can get clever about it, like with content creation. With you, I'm sure it doesn't really like, or at least at first when you were starting, I'm
Right.
sure it's all free of charge. You're just recording on your phone.
Yep.
You know, it doesn't have to be the best. You don't need to have the whole setup
No.
at first. You don't need to,
You just need to have the
but
will.
people still need to hear that, which I think is surprising considering the early days of things like YouTube. Like when you look at the freaking LG fridges they were filmed on, just so
Seriously.
pixelated, and yeah, like
But I think
I'm surprised people need to be reminded.
that's just something you have to tackle as an entrepreneur or like a business owner. You know, you kind of have to remember at the end of the day, you still kind of are selling a certain idea. And there are ways that you can do that that will reach like a very huge audience. And by the way, the evil people doing it are not going to stop. So we might as well try and spread some messages that are more important and helpful for humanity and things that will make people feel seen. I saw this one interview of Karamo Brown from Queer Eye. Are you familiar with the show?
Yeah, I know Queer Eye, but I don't know the actual guys on it. I don't know their names.
Well,
but I've seen one episode.
Karamo is the therapy guy who, like,
Okay, yeah.
he was basically talking about when you're already a part of a marginalized group, and you're in an industry like a creative industry, it's okay to cut corners, it's okay to lie, it's okay to cheat, it's okay to do all the things that the people with privilege are doing. That's how you get to that point. And you shouldn't feel guilty as a marginalized person, even as a woman, for doing that same thing because you've not been afforded those same opportunities. And I took that to lessen my guilt about even being like an entrepreneur, because you have to do certain things, like you have to sell certain things, or you have to collaborate with people. You have to be good at networking. You have to be good at so many things. So I believe that you should be paid for that eventually. You should not feel too guilty about... I feel like there's an inherent guilt that bars a lot of people from doing what they want to do, whether that is making YouTube and TikTok videos or starting their own independent magazine. A lot of the guilt comes from not believing you deserve opportunity and thinking that going after opportunity is inherently a moral failure or just you're doing something wrong. But I don't think that's inherently it. It's just the system and you're the player. Don't hate the player and hate the game.
I think sometimes it's like a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it? When you're telling yourself, I can't do this,
I'm going to be the perfect person if I'm going to do this.
Yeah. And I think setting those kinds of standards means nothing's ever going to happen. And also, do you know what? With that kind of quote, I really resonate with it. Honestly, as someone who comes from a very working class background, I've got like lots of siblings, and like my dad was like a builder, like that kind of background. And and we didn't really grow up with much. But I would never let something like that. That does limit me, sadly. That is just, there's nothing you can do about being working class. We're born to believe everything's meritocratic, but really you're at such a disadvantage. That's just not happening. But what we can do is just dream a little.
Yeah.
It's okay to dream
a bit.
And just like dream outside the box a little bit more and just have a little bit more optimism.
What is it to be a dreamer? Is it to accept the limitations as your reality, as your your all end be all, or whatever that phrase is? Should that be what you're condemned to just because it's what you've been born into? Or can you take that limitation and look at it a different way and think, how am I going to turn this limitation on its head through my own work and something I care about?
Because resources is really a huge part of it.
Yeah.
And having the money. So
But
it's learning to get clever about those types of things.
being resourceful. Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's what being on the poverty line is. You grow up having to learn to be resourceful. So learn to apply that in your day-to-day life. Don't let that part of you have just held you back. Use those skills and translate it into something else that could have, such a positive impact on you.
It doesn't need to be your life. I think a lot of us who have to face poverty think that our adaptability and our resourcefulness that we've grown out of poverty have to apply to poverty every time. They don't. You can apply that to literally get out of poverty so hard that it's like you won the lottery 10 times. It's all about that adaptability. And where do you apply that? Do you apply it in a place that is never going to get you past the poverty line? Or are you applying it in a place that's going to do something for you? That's how I look at it. I have this skill for a reason.
Like, it affects all aspects of your life, honestly, just having that type of motivation. I think when you start thinking like that, that's when that's when the ideas start flowing.
Exactly.
Because then there's no constraints in your mind anymore,
Everything changes.
Yeah. I think I used to feel really down about it when I was younger, because to be honest, when you think about it, there are some people just leaps and bounds ahead,
right,
simply because their parents know so-and-so.
I mean,
this is really, really common here anyway. Like, the networking is off the charts.
I think that's genuinely everywhere on Earth, every little corner of Earth. From what I've seen personally, just because,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just the industries, though. It's just almost like, it's like another, you can't really call it glass ceiling, because it's not gender-based, it's class-based, but
exactly.
It's really, but it's like,
I just want to say,
just so,
sorry.
No, go on. No, go on.
I just want to say that I feel like women hold up the working class, though, quite a big portion, like doing a lot of the unpaid labor for the working class to even exist, to even keep functioning.
And that's why a lot of women maybe don't, and it just comes back to gaming. It's like, that's why maybe a lot of the time. Well, you kind of spoke about this in that video I was talking about, the pinned one, where you think your only role in life is to be a mum.
Yeah.
And this is really common for a lot of women, where they feel like that only role to fulfill in life is to be the mother, the sister, the wife, the, whatever.
The extension of someone, male.
Yeah, and then there's no room for hobbies and to be a kind of creative person. And it means something different for every race too, because I think about really who suffers the most from this is Black women.
It's
having
true.
to be seen as the most maternal. And then, especially in gaming, you never, ever see any representation for Black girls, ever, really. It's just, and really, really with the makeup industry moving and the film industry moving, that's what I mean. The gaming industry is just so far behind that we only get, different skin tones for Animal Crossing New Horizons in 2020.
Mean, even in new games, like Dress to Impress had a Black History Month update recently. I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't actually know, but that's nice. It's good. But although with just games like that, it's nice to see it in online gaming. But I would like to see it in more like physical.
Yeah.
Well, not physical, because a lot of games are like just digital now. But
but games that are to be bought.
Yeah, because on something like that, then that's kind of lost once they update.
Right.
It would be nice to see it in a game where you can replay it and things like that.
Set Black characters, especially woman characters.
And more than just like a month, but just having it just be a good representation of everyone there is that enjoy games, and that's literally obviously everyone.
I mean, I still don't feel fully represented in gaming.
Yeah.
So
I'm not, and honestly, I'm not surprised, just because I feel like, I think a lot of it comes from laziness with studios. Maybe it's easier with maybe the same game model as well.
It's easier to discount female characters and women, when they're not prioritized.
I don't know. But then, yeah, and then there's always some kind of heated discourse online when there is a female main character. Like I remember
Ellie.
Horizon Zero Dawn and then the sequel, and
Ooh.
they were like complaining about how much, I can't remember her name, had like changed in design,
Oh,
right? Am I
she's not
remembering
hot
this correctly?
anymore.
Yeah, was it no, 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 not the sequel. Actually, no, yeah, it was that as well. And then also it happened again with uh was it The Last of Us?
Was it Ellie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just,
So that happened again too, because she was just a bit more butch.
yeah, I
Which,
don't,
come on.
like, what was wrong with her? She wasn't ugly. She looked like a regular person. Um, and
No,
also, why
honestly, I like to see it too. Like, I feel like you don't see a lot of masculine women in media
ever?
too, and that, and you never know. Like, I feel like for me, maybe I would have come out earlier if I'd just seen like that more of that kind of representation again in gaming, because that's really what I was on. I remember like my first encounter with that was The Sims when I realized two girls could woohoo.
Oh my
It
God,
hadn't
so
really
real.
occurred to me before then, and I was like, it unlocked like a whole can of worms. I was like, but why can't they try for a baby? But like, and then that opened like a whole can of worms too. And but that kind of thing, I do think it is. I think people are. I think a lot of people who have an opinion on this are not a minority, and that is
True.
why what I'm saying is cis white men. And that is why it's like trying, that analogy where it's like you can't describe color to people who've only been in a black and white room.
Yeah.
And it's basically to say that color exists, this kind of thing exists, but because it's not, they don't perceive it,
Yeah, they have no
therefore it isn't real.
conceptualization of it.
And it really goes to show you that's their opinion towards racism, homophobia, sexism. I don't see, therefore it does not exist. And I think, I suppose it just kind of leaks into all
However,
kinds of aspects. Yeah.
it becomes a big part of the gaming sphere, although they claim it doesn't exist. It seems
Yeah.
like when you enter the gaming sphere, that's all you see.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I think anyone who says this doesn't happen online is just turning a blind eye. Or to say that it's got any better.
Yeah.
Because I really don't see a crazy contrast in how it was growing up, to be very honest with you.
If you look at, this is Style Savvy as an example, but if you look at the makeup section or the hair section, if you're a young black girl playing Style Savvy, you're not seeing yourself being represented at all. And you can change your skin color, but the makeup looks absolutely horrible on darker skin colors in that game. And they don't try and improve it. I mean, the newest one, I think they did Fashion Dreamer, but I didn't play that. And a lot of other girls didn't. A lot of other women didn't. Because it ended up sucking. How could it suck in comparison to the older ones? I don't understand. But it's just like a lack of representation in the gaming sphere for women. Just little things like the makeup being off can leave a sour taste about gaming in general in a woman's or a girl's mouth.
Yeah, it's just laziness, and therefore,
Lack
I
of
suppose,
care.
just disguised as racism. It's just you don't care.
Right.
You just simply don't care. And to me, that says everything about your attitude towards other people. And I suppose what makes me sad about it is just hearing that. I've not played the game, but it just sounds like it was added in for almost kind of like the want to generate more sales. So basically promoting it to black women, making them want to buy it because they think they're being represented in this game.
Right.
And getting a false sale out of that. It sounds really messed up when you really think about it.
It sounds like a scam to me.
Yeah. And I think that's what happens a lot in games. And it would just be nice to see, more care put into it. But that's not to say there aren't games out there that don't have wonderful representation.
Where there is good, there is bad, and vice versa.
Yeah, there's just a lot of these big mainstream games that miss the mark often. Obviously, there's the nuance with a lot of the studios being based in Japan, and so that's a whole different kind of can of worms.
Freaking
my phrase today.
Island of worms.
So, and I can't really comment on that too much. I don't have any lived experience there.
Right.
I really couldn't tell you. But I think we can all assume that it's still some kind of laziness aspect.
Yeah.
Because you're making it for a Western audience too.
Right.
So, And regardless, I mean, people of color exist everywhere.
Indeed.
So,
I mean, even Japan, who, I mean, is a
yeah.
country that is very colorist. They are all people of color.
Mm.
So, I mean, to
Yeah.
or rather, what's the word?
I guess from there, like when you think about it like that, then it comes down to colorism. But then that's just,
It's a
it's just
lot.
another, yeah.
Colorism is a
And
huge
that's another thing
conversation.
that affects, yeah.
It's just that colorism is such a huge conversation, especially
Yeah.
in gaming. I feel like when we do get black
massive.
female characters, they're always light-skinned.
Yeah. No, 100%. And a lack of shades, really.
A lack of shades, also a lack of understanding in how the undertones of black skin kind of function. It's not like gray, but a lot of the color scheme is gray when they should be using like an orange or even blue vase at some point. We're purple, but not gray, you know? So it's just like a lack of care and laziness and not wanting to learn how to tackle those quote-unquote diverse features when it comes to the art and design.
Yeah, there's a writer on my team called Auray who talks about this a lot, because I think just as a young black girl growing up, it's so difficult not even seeing a kind of generalized version of yourself, something that you can loosely relate to. And also I just remember when we were talking about it, and just for her to even be able to have a skin tone that represents her, you have to go to on Animal Crossing New Leaf, you have to go to this other island and tan for like 5 to 10 hours, and you leave the game open. That's the only way you can change your skin tone.
What?
I think it's really sad. That I mean, what are we telling?
We're telling young
these children,
girls, just young people in general, they have to earn the right to be represented.
Yeah, to see themselves, yeah.
Wow.
Although I know that they changed it now. I just think that was when we were young. That's not really that long ago.
No, that should have never been a part of the game. It should have always been a regular color picker type of thing.
Yeah, it was like 2010, 2011, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's a very modern game. Yeah.
That is so disappointing.
I think in Tomodachi Life now, though, they have, what was it, like female, male, non-binary. I know a lot of people really happy to see that. It's just the little things, like it doesn't change too much, but then that's a nice way to represent people, because that's a game. I guess it's almost like, it's like The Sims, that you want to have, someone's going to generate every kind of version. So for that, you really need that sort of thing.
I just like when developers know their audience very well. Like, yes, non-binary people are going to love Tomodachi Life.
Yeah.
I think that shows that they care. They know that their fan base are all they, them, named Kai. That's good that they know that.
And now you can make yourself in the game. They, them, Kai.
Exactly. Exactly. It's so
but
beautiful.
Honestly, it's just, it really is nice to see, and it's a big push from Nintendo too. Yeah.
Which I didn't expect from them, because it seems like their priorities are pretty much money. So I'm glad they're actually prioritizing, like, the fan base.
That's all of them, though, really.
Right.
That's They always. I hear a lot of people say that about Nintendo, and I think it's kind of all of them.
It is all of them.
It's very money hungry. Yeah, and just some are better at hiding it than others. Than Nintendo.
Right. Well, I guess I just want to thank you for being a guest on the podcast.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I do want to.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. I want to ask some last questions to cool down, and also just to promote your magazine, because it matters a lot to me, and I know that it'll matter a lot to people in my viewer base, and even people who will just stumble across this podcast episode. So I guess the first question I want to ask is, what inspired you in the first place, besides it just being a passion project at school, to make the magazine? to actually make it a tangible magazine?
I've always really loved print media. Like I've always been a big magazine collector. And so with gaming, my only representation was kind of things like Wired and sort of like
Right.
a bit more, that was as androgynous as I could kind of find. But I love that kind of chibi style in gaming. I love cutesy, very cartoony things. I wasn't even trying to go for something super feminine. I was just trying to go for, yeah, pretty much the art style that I really like.
Yeah.
So I was looking for that in print media, and I see a lot of variations of it with kind of like the trinket girl, like that whole trend, and
Yeah.
but it comes and it goes, and I just wanted to see more of a representation of girls who this is all encompassing. This is kind of their sort of fit. This is their not really aesthetic, but I think there's more of us who aren't really maybe that passionate about anime, but
Right.
really like fashion and games and maybe a bit more like hyperpop and that kind of section. I think that's quite a big audience in gaming.
Right.
And yeah, I just noticed that that was just lacking. And then also, if you look up things like Girls of Gaming, like those magazine covers, and it's just like a girl, like a GTA style, you know, in
Oh,
the bikini.
jeez. Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't really want to own that. And a bit, and the truth is, a big part of when you buy a magazine, it's kind of like window shopping. Like you're just flipping through
Yeah.
the pages.
The
You're not
cover
reading it.
matters.
Yeah, it really does. And it says a lot when that's, you know,
That's
Girls of
why
Gaming.
I did want to say I really love your recent cover by Tomikit. I've been following her for such a long time too. And I was like, oh my God, my two interests are colliding. No, but seriously, she did such a good job on the art. I love how she included your robo mascot. Dude, the art was
Yeah.
super awesome. The issue was awesome. It was talking about everything I love related to gaming. It was so freaking cool.
Oh, thank you so much.
And I think that,
Thank you.
of course, I think the covers that you make are really different, despite what we've been seeing for like girls gaming magazines or that type of over sexualized type of thing. It's really different,
Yeah.
and even the Blender animated ones that you make are just so unique and individual and authentic. And they show that women and girls that there's a different side to all of this.
Yeah, I think it's just an alternative. Like, it doesn't really have to be, you know, kind of like this dark, kind of moody
IGN,
palette. It doesn't have to
RBG.
be so serious. Yeah, it doesn't. It just doesn't have to be that way. And I guess to be honest, I'm quite early 2000s inspired too. I really miss that
Yes, we all
Bottega
do.
era kind of movement. Yeah. Maybe it's like I'm chasing nostalgia, but
We
I just think it's a
all
very
are.
peaceful design style. Yeah. Yeah, I thought yeah, that's pretty much how it came about, was just that want for that sort of thing, and then seeing kind of weird crap online, and then
Right.
not feeling like I was being represented in other gaming tech kind of magazines. So I'm not hugely into the tech side
Right.
either, and I think not all gamers are building their PCs, hence
No.
my horrible setup, you know?
Right.
Like a lot of us aren't really into that kind of side. It really is just purely a love for gaming. And I think that's, yeah, I just think, yeah, I feel like that should really be represented more.
I think you represent it beautifully with your magazine and the way that you promote it online. I think it's very well put together. I think it's very well thought out, well intentioned. And I want there
Thank
to
you
be
so
more,
much.
of course. I just want there to be more things like this out there. I want there to be more female voices just in this whole sector of in the realm of gaming, but in general, of course. But I just think that your magazine is very important for that reason, because it inspired me in so many ways. For a long time, I was like, I'm not considered a gamer because I don't play those boy games like FPS shooters. I like fashion games or rhythm games, so I don't count. But then when I came across your magazine, I thought, okay, well, maybe I do count. Maybe it doesn't have to be so skill-based, you know?
And again, and coming away from that idea that these types of conclusions are obvious, because I think in my mind, have always thought, yeah, I'm definitely a gamer. Like, I know the amount of times I put into goddamn Minecraft, I'm definitely a
Right,
gamer.
right.
Like, just because exactly like you said, I don't play like first-person shooters. I'm just not really into that kind of thing. That doesn't make me any less of a gamer. It also doesn't make me a stereotypical female either.
Right.
I really hate that.
Me too.
This is what this is what I lean into, and I don't know. Yeah, it's not even the stereotypical that kind of vibe isn't even presented online. So do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't really know where
There
the assumption kind of comes about. Yeah,
it
if you know what I mean.
it
Yeah.
seems like when it comes to a hyper feminine thing like that,
Mm.
it's that criticism of like maybe it's too stereotypical, that maybe someone is afraid of stepping out and creating something that is more hyper feminine. But I think there's room for all of it.
Mm. And it's just like, I suppose I relate to this kind of analogy just because I'm gay, but when you think about hyperfems, it's obviously no way like for metal performance. Like
Right.
when you're dressed in like a tiny mini skirt that's like pink filled with sparkles and glitter and maybe like 500 keychains hanging off it. Tell me what man would want
Who is
to
that for? What man is
actually
that
approach
for?
me? Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's obviously for yourself, and I think it's just coming to the realization that that
You can express
it's
femininity
yeah.
without it being directly for the male gaze.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to be a woman. And I think I needed to be told that growing up. Like,
Thank you.
I found myself when I was like 13 to 14 really wishing I was born a man. But what I really realized was it wasn't that I wanted to be a man, it's that I didn't want to be a woman anymore. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of women have
I
that in their
still feel
life.
that to
When
this
you
day
realize,
sometimes.
yeah. Yeah, because I would do anything just to not have that label on me for one day.
Right.
And I feel it's probably not a very unique experience. I'm sure like every person's wish they were someone else, but it's a different kind of it's a sadness.
Yeah. It's an experience that a lot of women experience and go through. Because being a man means having a certain freedom, being able to live in a certain carefree way that you kind of can't as a woman. It makes sense that you wouldn't want to be a woman.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just think it's sad just because I think it's maybe not universal, but quite common.
Quite common, and I think it is sad because we should be able to be happy that we were born women, you know? It should be like a thank God moment, but because of how the world is, it can't really be because of the consequences of
Yeah.
being a woman.
Yeah, not even yeah, and even to go even like more like to the fundamental, to just be okay with who you are.
Mhm.
Like it doesn't have to be such a dictator in your life with your hobbies, and it's I think it's like craving to want to be alternative and different. I think a lot of girls go through this because you don't want to be like other girls, you know that phrase. And it's okay. It's okay to just like what you like. It's okay to be
I
who you
mean,
are outside of your gender,
I
girl or
literally,
boy or non-binary.
I literally graduated dressed as a boy in a binder because of this very thing. And now I'm super
Mm.
girly, quote unquote, more hyper feminine. Because it,
And I think and I think it's really amazing to be honest that you have that kind of experience because a lot of people aren't bold enough to explore their gender like that, and I think that is what forms their opinions a lot. It's kind of this fear to not conform.
I think I was lucky that my mom was pretty supportive for the most part because
Yeah,
I don't want to say because she supports trans people or like loves LGBTQIA individuals plus
Yeah.
individuals. It's mostly because I'm gonna be for real. She has a very weird relationship with femininity too. So she'd prefer that I be a tomboy, even if it meant I was trans.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, I sometimes I think my mom is low-key DL on the low trans or gay because of the things that she says, the way that she acts,
Mm.
her certain opinions about bisexual women versus lesbians. I don't know. She'll be like, bisexual women ruin the landscape for lesbian dating and ruin the lives of lesbians by existing because they're more likely to choose a man over the woman. Like, who rejected you? What woman rejected
Yeah.
you?
But a lot of people harbor these kinds of, I suppose, like internalized homophobia. And that is why they react this way towards anyone who is expressing, the alternative online. They're upset that someone else decided to go down a different path. We were probably on the same, we met at the same crossroads and then we just went like this. And, they just,
It's like, why can't we be at
yeah.
different paths? My mom told me, I remember, she was like, if I was your age and I was going to school with you, I would hate you. We wouldn't be friends. I wouldn't like you at all.
That's awful. That's terrible. Fucking hell.
I just thought, like, damn, couldn't we exist in the same, like, landscape? Get along at least. You're my mother. Like,
Yeah.
people just...
Yeah, but it really does kind of represent what it's like online. It's intolerance, I suppose.
You can't be different from one another without it being an attack, which kind of sucks.
Yeah. I'm sure you get that so much with your TikTok. Like,
Tell me
every
about
word
it.
under the sun. Anytime you say something a little bit, yeah. I can imagine. But you know what? I guess the sanity is that it's never ever like that online.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, not online, sorry, in real life. Not online.
Yeah, I was
in
about
real
to
life.
say,
Yeah.
I understood what you meant because it really is just like that as soon as you log in. You can log out and life will be completely different.
So different. But especially, it really comes, I don't think it applies to Go as much, but I feel like it applies more, to like commentary kind of TikTok videos. And well, when I think about it, no one really meets me with resistance with Go, like in real life. Like when you've done fairs and things before, no one's really come up to me and, said something insulting. But
that's a good thing. I'm glad.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's that, I suppose, but yeah, I take comfort in that, honestly, knowing that, I suppose, yeah, a lot of it kind of just lives online. And I guess for you too, being someone who's out there and you're showing your face online,
Yeah. Because when I'm off my phone, I'm just in my bedroom.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it really is like that. I did want to ask about that, actually. When it comes to Girl magazine, what is the type of backlash that you receive? Do you receive a lot of it? Are you lucky to not receive as much and have more support? And who was the most shocking supporter of Girl?
Oh, I feel like I've not had many shocking supporters. To be honest, it's just been loads of women. Like, to be honest, I've had like a few behind the scenes people like in the industry, like kind of maybe higher up men that I'm surprised have seen the magazine, but it's always been like really kind words. It's never been backlash or anything like that. With the comment sections, obviously it's like I said, it was all maybe the trad wife stuff or something sexist or that sort of thing. But I wouldn't say there's been anything that's like super duper standout, to be honest. I think a good way to live is not reading comment sections often. I usually only read if something goes a bit bigger. I usually only read to respond to like customer questions.
It's a good way to go about it when you're when you're putting yourself out there online, because and then when you ignore it for a while, you go back. Usually it's a lot of nice stuff and you surprise yourself.
Yeah, like any kind of negativity is usually like the 1%. So
right, it's not going to be the vast majority. That's just your like internal negative bias that every human being has.
Yeah, I'm less worried about hate comments on my page and more like when you know those Andrew Tate types, when you look at their comment sections. I'm more worried when I'm looking at that.
Yeah, those comment
You know?
sections are a dumpster fire.
It's those kinds of places where, yeah, where those kinds of discussions are bred, and then it. I think that's who I'm scared of, really. Yeah, not anyone under like a magazine kind of video. Just yeah.
Well, that's good. That girl mostly has supporters. I'm glad to hear that. I did want to ask you about the logistics of kind of how you do your printing and publishing.
Yeah, sure. Basically, so I do everything on my laptop. I make it on InDesign.
Uh-huh.
I design the magazine myself, and then I usually before I've started designing, I'll send. So my small team, there's 4 of us, and I'll send them the idea, and I'll be like, "This is our I'm thinking this is the idea. Would you be interested in writing about this topic?" And then they usually just put forward things they're interested in writing about. A lot of it's like interviews and thought pieces and Q&As and that sort of thing. It's usually something that they want their writing to mean something.
Right.
And and then when that's all together and all done, and all the interviews and stuff, I just like when I interview a cover star and stuff, I just handle that myself. Like it's just me. It's a solo project basically, but with some external help. And then I send it off to printers, and then it comes to my house, and then I just send it off myself. I just send it all out.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's quite a small thing, to be honest.
So it's very much like an independent with a bit of a team effort.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And I would really love to expand one day though, because designing the whole thing can be quite a long process. So.
Yeah.
But it's just I would rather pay people for their work. So, 'cause there's so many people who like email you online. They're like, "I'll do this for free for you," and it's
Right.
like you shouldn't.
Right, you should be
You
paid.
know?
It's really hard
Yeah.
to, I don't know, kind of get used to that too, and see where your boundaries are on that, because it's hard. You don't want to like make anyone.
Yeah, it is really tough because I do get it. Like I've given out lots of free work just to like get my
Get someone started.
portfolio going. Yeah, but I don't know.
I did want to ask you for a final question. What was your very first experience with gaming?
My very first experience. Oh my God. No one's actually asked me that before, so I'm trying to think.
Oh my goodness. I got my Jimmy Kimmel cap on.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
It's okay. Take your time.
Well, to be honest, so I have 4 brothers and 4 sisters actually, but all my brothers really liked gaming, and so I have a lot of there was a lot of old consoles in the house because there's like different ages.
Yeah.
So like my eldest brother, me and him have like a 10-year age gap, and so he had like lots of old like Game Boys and Game Cubes and things like that, the Game Boy Advances, like all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So a lot of my first games were kind of a little bit before my time. I'm trying to think of the very first game someone showed me. It would have been my eldest brother. Maybe some Kirby game. I played a lot of Kirby games. Or maybe Pokemon, because I've played pretty
That's
much
real.
every Pokemon game.
It's
Yeah. And we had there was when Pokemon first came out, what was it? Red, Yellow, and Blue. And then they did a remake on the Game Boy Advance, which is Leafy Green and Fiery Red.
Right.
And that's what we had. And I remember that being my favorite game for a really long time. And it's a really great game too, to honestly be one of your first. It's so it's quite iconic.
Yeah, that is iconic. That's pretty cool. Mine is lame in comparison.
What is it? Is it Nintendogs?
It was a CD-ROM My Little Pony game that I used to play at my aunt's house. It was super janky and bad.
That's cool. No, that's cool. See, the thing is, because my family were quite tech savvy, I didn't play a lot of these kind of
Yeah.
like a lot of people did a lot of random kind of. I feel like we played a lot of the kind of big ones when they were coming out.
Yeah, like
But I'm
the
trying to
legit
think.
games.
Yeah, I must have played quite a few Hello Kitty ones though, for sure. Because I have a memory of there's one on the GameCube playing, and it's like
Oh, that sounds fun.
it's just like on roller skates.
Oh,
For like, yeah, I love that game.
that sounds like fun.
That was like my first. Yeah, it was like really cute. I just that's all I remember. She has like roller skates on, and she's
Aw.
like floating about. She has like a wand, like that type of thing. But that was like the most spin-offy kind of thing I would play.
No, that sounds like a game I'd play today.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I'll probably like emulate it at some point. It takes like 2 seconds,
Oh,
really. You can
for
run
sure.
it on this brick. Like, you can run it on anything.
I've been wanting to move my emulation to my PC because iPad emulation is buns. One of the Style Savvy games doesn't even properly load up. All of the games glitch constantly. You can barely play it. Still played all 4. But
Yeah, all the DS should run fine on your laptop.
they should, because I think it's Citra. I don't know, but I'll figure that out.
I don't think I've run DS ones before. I've only ever used Dolphin and Visual Boy,
But
but I don't know if that has. I think that might just be Game Boy games.
it might be. I don't know. I've
Dolphin,
been
I
in
think, is
my
GameCube. Yeah, you could always look into that. Yeah,
I've just been
I
in
don't know too
my
much emulation.
I've been in my 3DS bag recently. A lot of Nintendo going on.
Oh, nice. Did you get enough? Did you order one?
No, well, I have one. I have a 2DS over there and a 3DS.
Oh yeah, me too. I have like the 2DS, but the one you can close. Yeah,
Oh, I wish I had.
Because oh my god, like I would have.
so
Oh my god,
annoying.
I would have scratched up that other one.
That
Like,
other
no
one
tomorrow.
is super easy to scratch up, actually.
Mm.
And I also have a
Yeah, I know. Who's idea
PSP.
with that?
Huh?
The kids.
Oh, true. But also, I function like a child, like a big child.
Me too, though. Like, when I really think about it, I wish I would keep my consoles a bit nicer because I'd probably be like
Me
some
too.
kind of vintage resale at some point. But I'm gonna messed up already.
Right.
Dropped the worth by like 50%.
I'm not very good at keeping up with my stuff. Like, right now, I'm sitting in a very dirty room. You're not able to tell because you can't see the floor. And all my stuff is just, oh, do you like stickers?
I do, but to be honest, you know you're actually slightly frozen on my screen, so you might have to reset your camera.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. How about now?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, perfect.
I have this terminal fear of using stickers. But I was like, let me use a bunch of my stickers for this journal. Look at this.
Oh, I love that. That's so cool.
I
They
really
look like
enjoyed it.
they look like the ones from Super Sticker Club or whatever it's called. It's like there's this really cute account called Super Sticker Club?
Super Sticker
Have
Club.
you heard of it?
I gotta look into that.
Oh my god, you would love it. I think it's mini super sticker something. Yeah, mini super sticker club. Oh my god, the website is so cute. So this is such a tangent, but can
No,
you
it's
see
okay.
it? Maybe
Oh, I love the
it's so adorable.
I love
And
the
like,
layout.
check out the site. It's really cool, and they sell like lots of really cute stickers. And I think it's US based. It's the only reason I haven't ordered because I'm like, shipping is just not worth it for stickers, you know.
It's absolutely not.
Yeah.
But I might just have to join the sticker club.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Are you based in West Coast?
East Coast.
East Coast. Oh, okay. So you're 5 hours behind me.
Yes, I think. I think it's still the morning, I think. It's 1 o'clock now. 1 p.m.
Yeah, 1 o'clock for you. Yeah, because it's 6 now for me. Oh, okay.
wow.
I was just double checking. I couldn't tell if I'd had you up at like 7 a.m. or something.
No,
I was thinking, wow, you're great. Because I
You had
couldn't.
me up at around 8. I've been waking up at like 12 every day, unfortunately.
Oh no, don't worry at all. I'm kind of the same. Like without like a proper 9 to 5, it's just the sleep cycle.
Yeah.
Would just.
We're chud
I wake
maxing.
up. Yeah, you just wake up when you. I think that's being 24. This is being 24 right now. Just yeah.
To be 24 is to be a bit of a chud. Come on.
Yeah. Although I don't know what that means.
It's just, I'm very terminally online. Like, I have a few more years to live type of shit.
Oh, I see.
what the word chud, the meaning is debated. It does come from 4chan, but it's very popular terminology on TikTok right now. I use it as someone who doesn't have their life fully, like, Patrick Bateman level together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd say I'm a bit of a chud from time to time.
Yeah. I wish that was me with like my mask coming off in the
Yeah, with the
morning. Like, yeah.
sometimes we can do that. We put on a mask that looks like real skin, but other days you
Yeah.
got to be a chud.
Most days. Yeah.
Yeah. To be human is to chud. Well, I guess that concludes this interview. I want to say thank you for being a guest here on Yapology 101 for me and my viewers. Jenny, I
Yeah,
appreciate it
thank you so
greatly.
much for having me. You've been great. You're a great chat.
Thank you very much. I also love that British terminology. I fucking love
Yeah.
it. I need to keep a notebook. I have a few other British friends, and I need to start
Yeah.
keeping a list of the things, of the lingo, so I can learn it. And I can, be a spy for the United States government, and so on.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would do too, but vice versa.
You'll be able to put me out really easily because I lean.
Mm.
But thank you so much for giving us your time today. I know we've taken a pretty big chunk of your time today, and I appreciate it.
No,
It was a
not
pleasure
all.
talking to you. And you gave me
Yeah,
some
of
really...
course.
Sorry.
No, no, don't worry. I think it lags a little bit, so I'm just kind of replying to you, but I think I keep cutting you off.
We need a better setup for this.
So you didn't say the answer.
I just want to say that you gave amazing insight into the world of gaming, especially for women and girls, stuff that is targeted towards us, made for us, and by us. So it was a great talk. And that concludes this episode, which is episode 12. I do want to direct you to Jenny's website, which is girl.com, where you can find Girl Magazine. Both digital and physical copies are available, and up to 6 editions have been released. I do think it would be an important thing for you to do, to go check it out, maybe read an edition, even buy an edition, and it will be sent to your house by the creator herself. Talk about dedication and a self-starter. And that's about it for this episode. I feel really lucky and grateful to be able to talk to such an inspirational business owner such as Jenny, the creator of Girl Magazine. And I wanted to say thank you to the viewers of Yapology 101, to you guys. Thank you for watching. It's always a pleasure. I would like to direct you now to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my latest video essay on the Super Bowl and its political tensions, as well as check out my Patreon. It's $5 to join, and the benefits are Q&As, private live streams, behind the scenes thingamabobs, and your name will be read at the end of each and every YouTube video. Once again, thank you for watching. This was episode 12 of Yapology 101 with the founder of Girl Magazine, Jenny, and this is goodbye. Thank you for watching.